Greetings to you all and welcome to our special program. I am your host, Demis Makrel. Today, I have two very distinguished guests joining me here at the studio. His Excellency Rémi Maréchaux, the French ambassador to Ethiopia, and Feseha Yitagesu, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation. Our discussion will focus on the exciting new partnership between the French Embassy and the Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation to digitize decades of audiovisual content in EBC archives. As we are having this discussion, of course, the world is making today, October 27, a day for the World Audiovisual Heritage. This day highlights the importance of preserving the global audiovisual heritage for future generation, and that exactly is what we will be talking here as well. Ambassador and Feseha, thanks for joining me here at the studio.
Pleasure very much. Thank you.
Let me proceed to you first, Ambassador. How do you see the current partnership between the French Embassy and EBC in terms of digitizing EBC's decades of contents?
Today is a new step because we have started discussing the support of the partnership we could build regarding digitizing the archives. And today is an important step because we have, not with us, but we have at EBC a team of French experts from our National Institute for Audiovisual. So it is another step in the implementation of the project we've been discussing for, I would say, a year now. Yeah. And so we receive a request from EBC regarding this heritage to be not only preserved but also made accessible to the public. And this is directly in line with what we're doing in other fields here in Ethiopia as our partnership in the field of heritage is our priority. Like you're familiar with what we're doing now in Lalibela, transforming the National Palace into a museum. And this new component of our cooperation in the field of heritage is now starting and is very promising. Yeah.
So we have one of the oldest and the largest audiovisual collections as EBC. Yeah. So what is the benefit of getting those archive assets digitized as EBC and for the Ethiopian people?
This is a very important project. Because at EBC we have a century-old archive, both Ethiopian content, African content, that has been more than 8,000 hours of archive. So digitizing, preserving this archive is very important for heritage management and cultural, political issues for the country. And France has been very expert on this heritage management, cultural issues, looking at Lalibela, the National Palace Museum. So this is also an important project for us as a country as well as for the media as well, because most of Ethiopia's history, modern Ethiopian history, is kept here at EBC. So making this available to the public, preserving the content is very important, and I think we will finish that we started here. So this marks a very important historical turn for our relationship for EBC as well.
If I may, I just want to complement what Feseha just said. It's very important for Ethiopia, but also for the rest of the continent, because you have many archives with the birth of OAU and AU, and so there will be a lot that could be shared from Ethiopia to the rest of the continent. Yeah.
Ambassador, the French Audiovisual Institute, INA, is presently working with EBC in terms of providing technical assistance for this digitization project. How do you see the partnership with INA and their expertise in this area?
No, I think it's very promising because INA is a public institution in France and has an economic model that could be of interest for EBC. As INA is partially self-financed by the way they make archive accessible to the public or to be reused or republished. So that's a model of a sustainable way to protect and maintain this archive. So there is, I would say, almost a same culture of public service shared by the two institutions.
So we are having now just the beginning of the action for the archive digitization, and the French Embassy is not covering the entire cost of the archive digitalization process. So as EBC, what is the next step in terms of getting all archive materials digitized, and what is the call for that?
Yeah, so INA is doing a research, studying our archives, the thematic areas, and the carrier's capacity, the fragility of all the things. So this is very important to do a well-strategized and phased approach for us to follow. I have a pleasure of visiting ENA. They have a good workflow, good experience in this industry. Once we have that, we know now where to start and where to go. So this is a big collection that requires lengths of time and resources as well. So we need other partners, both the government of Ethiopia and other partners, to support this process. So this will be the study, the outcome of the study in terms of report will be very important for us to convince other partners to support this project as well. So this is very an important milestone that we achieved in this past 1 year.
Ambassador, I wonder if you can mention how much you provide in terms of funding for this digitization process, and if you have any future plans in relation to that.
Okay, no, I can speak about the present. So this digitization project is a component of a larger project from the French government to support the Ethiopian media. So not only the TV but also print media, and this component dedicated to digitization is a bit more than 400,000 euros. So it's not the budget to digitize 80,000 hours, but it's sufficient for the first phase, which is inventory, which is also the proposal to EBC of some technical solutions, some priority, and then the final decision and the strategy will be the one adopted by EBC. So we know helping sorting out, I mean, the different options, and then the strategic choice will have to be made by EBC, but will remain a technical partner ready to continue our support, because as I said, our support in the field of heritage is a long-standing one, and it's only natural that now we move to the audiovisual heritage.
So what is the longer-term vision as EBC to getting these archive materials digitized? What is benefit for the long term?
So having digitized, but now it's an era of digital content, digital equipment. So this archive has been in a physical form too long. The first thing is to preserve those contents, then making these contents accessible to the public for other media professionals, researchers. Once we complete the whole archive into a digital form, the other things will be easy. So I hope in the next 2-3 years we will complete the digitization of these archives. Then that marks the beginning of a more digital, more accessible content in Ethiopian media landscape. So I hope in less than 5 years we will finish the digitization of this archive.
Ambassador, early in our interview you mentioned the digitization effort from the French embassy is part of the broader strategy of the French in terms of preserving Ethiopian cultural heritage. What do you think this current project with EBC can add to that broader goal?
Yeah, no, clearly it does, because now we're focusing on we start with the Lalibela, so 12th and 13th century, the move to the palace, that's 20th century. Now it's important that we continue and expand what we're doing, because the heritage, the national Ethiopian heritage, is an incredible asset, which is now only partially used. Yeah. So when Feseha said that the important part was to make it accessible to the public, I think that we are assisting not for the EBC to create a treasury that is going to sit on, but just to share, to make this very rich history, even recent history of Ethiopia, known to the public, but also known to other countries and to the rest of the world. And that's why this interview and this action fits very well in the celebration of the World Audiovisual Heritage Day, because what will be done together is not only for the benefit of Ethiopia, but a much larger one.
What possible challenge, Feseha, do you see in the digitization process as EBC will move on in the process?
I think there are two problems. One is because these cassettes that we have has been too old here in our physical archives, and the equipment that need to digitize has been outdated in the world. So finding spare parts, skills, and finding equipment to digitize, it will be a very difficult job, and also skill in terms of human resource. We need to train our people, our engineers, technicians, to manage the digitization project throughout this process. So having two is very difficult because this archive should have been digitized long ago, 10, 20 years back. This is a backlog that remains at our hands, so this will be the biggest challenge, and that's why we are partnering with INA, because they are experts in this area, to help us bypass this challenge.
So, Ambassador, the CEO is mentioning some challenges, possible upcoming challenges. How the French embassy will intervene in terms of addressing those possible challenges?
Okay. I think one of the challenges you mentioned is there is a technical one. So that's something we'll work on to find a solution, a very concrete solution, which means finding spare parts. But there's also the challenge of capacity building, and the way this pilot phase is conceived and will be conducted includes knowledge sharing and includes capacity building even if this pilot phase will be dealing with 2,000 hours, which is limited compared to the 80,000 hours to be digitized, but there will be the opportunity to train Ethiopian technicians so that this project be really sustained. And that's the most important. That the effort, the endeavor to digitize all the archives should not rely only on partnership with France or whoever else, but should be now fully owned by EBC technicians, and we know that it's perfectly doable.
Ambassador, digitizing is not an end by itself unless we use the digitized content for public use. So what is your, what do you want to see from EBC in terms of presenting the digitized content to end users?
Ideally speaking, what we managed to do in France is to make this heritage accessible to professionals, but also accessible to the general public. So it's very important, especially these days where Ethiopians are looking into the history, looking into the common narrative of their history. It's important that this heritage be shared to the largest number. So general audience, but also technicians, also other TV channels, or eventually foreign partners that could request access and even pay fees to reuse these images.
What's your take on that?
It's true. The first thing is to preserve, because there is a danger of losing these contents if it's not digitized immediately. These are historical moments, historical films, videos, audios, which we kept here at EBC. So by digitizing this content, we preserve the contents. The second thing is to make them accessible. People should know, should understand the past to move to in the future. So making these contents accessible to media professionals, researchers, will be very important. For example, we are in a phase of national inclusive dialogue. In doing that, we need to learn about the constitution which was made in 1995, how that constitution was made, what were the discussions, the debates. So by looking, because we have that content in our at EBC in our archives, but we could not access, make it digitized, that proved difficult for other people to access. So digitizing will help us to learn from our past and move in the future. So it's a very important task.
I'm wrapping up my questions, Ambassador. So how will you support this digitization effort between your embassy and EBC to be successful in the years to come, in the months to come?
The first priority is this pilot phase, so to present, to offer options for the leadership of EBC then to decide to adopt a long-term strategy. Then our intention is like in other fields to remain a long-term and reliable partner. So we help kicking off, but we'll always stay in the loop to continue and eventually to scale
They should
up.
see the final result, and they will stay in every phase, I think, with us to make the dream reality.
So what is your concluding remarks for this project?
I think that the French embassy has been very instrumental, very helpful, and eager to digitize our content. They have understood the purpose of this digitization project. I hope they will continue to support us in finalizing this digitalization, and the ambassador promised that to us, so I want to take this opportunity to thank them for the things that they have done in the past 1 year, and the promise they have made for the future as well. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
elaborations.
Thank you.
So, dear viewers, this is a very short stay with the French ambassador, Rémi Maréchaux, and the Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation Chief Executive Officer, Feseha Yitagesu, about the ongoing digitization effort between the French embassy and EBC to digitize the decades of EBC archives. Thanks for being with us.